in the independent particle model, it is assumed that all the nucleons are moving independently in a potential field within the nucleus, and for simplicity of calculation we consider the potential field as a central potential and has spherical symmetry. Now, for simplicity of calculation we consider two potential functions. One is infinite square well and another is harmonic oscillator. Now the question is, why do we consider these two kind of potential? Because the infinite square well and the harmonic oscillator, these two potentials, and with exact radical solutions of the Schrodinger equation for all partial waves and at all energies. That means with these two potentials, the Schrodinger equation can be solved exactly for all partial waves and at all energies. Now, although the infinite square well potential is unrealistic, but here we consider for simplicity that infinite square well, the potential function is like this. The strength of the potential is minus V0 and in radius R0, and the strength here is minus V0 and outside is infinite. Now with this potential function we solve the Schrodinger equation, then with the infinite square well potential, potential of strength say minus V0 and radius of the well is R0, one can get a solution of the Schrodinger equation, which is written as, suppose psi, that is R radial function and YLM, the spherical harmonic angular part, theta phi. Now as the potential has spherical symmetry, so here we are not interested in the angular part. Angular part here is not very important because it has a spherical symmetry. Only we are interested in the radial part. Now if we substitute this wave function in the three-dimensional Schrodinger equation and separate it into radial and angular part, then the radial part will satisfy a spherical Bessel differential equation. Now the radial wave function satisfies the spherical Bessel differential equation. The radial wave function RL of R satisfies the equation which is written as 1 by R square 1 by R square ddr of R square d RL R dr plus twice m by h cross square. M is the reduced mass of the system, E minus L into L plus 1, the centrifugal barrier, by twice m R square h cross square. This is this equation satisfied by the radial wave function. The solution of this equation is a standard differential equation, spherical vessel differential equation. So the solution of this equation, here E is the energy of the nucleon, here E is the energy of the nucleon, and M is the reduced mass. Of the system. Now, it is required that the wave function be finite for all values of r. Within the square value. Now the solution of this equation which satisfies this requirement is the spherical vessel function. Therefore the solution of the above equation is RLR, which is JLKR, spherical vessel function JLKR, which is written as minus small r by k to the power L 1 by r ddr to the power L sin kr by kr. This is the solution, spherical vessel function. Now, where the small k is the related to the energy, this quantity small k, where the small k is twice m e by h cross. Now, as you know that in solving the Schrodinger equation for quantum mechanical system, we use boundary conditions. That is, one is the wave function is continuous at the boundary and its logarithmic derivative is continuous at the boundary. If the potential has a finite discontinuity, then both the wave function will be continuous at the boundary and its logarithmic and its derivative will be continuous at the boundary. That means the logarithmic derivative of the wave function is continuous at the boundary for finite discontinuity. But if the potential has infinite discontinuity, as in this case, here the potential has infinite discontinuity. So, in that case, only one boundary condition will be applied. That is, the wave function is continuous at the boundary. That is, at r equal to r0, because at r equal to r0 the potential is infinite. Inside the wave function is here RLR, and outside here the value of RLR, that is 0, because there is no possibility of finding the particle here at the potential has infinite discontinuity. So this wave function RLR must be 0 at r equal to r0. Okay. Now if we apply that boundary condition, that r equal to r0, the wave function RLR must be equal to 0. then in that case the wave function RL of R must be 0 at R equal to R0 for all values of theta and phi. Theta and phi. So under this condition, if we put this is equal to 0, that is the zeros of the spherical Bessel function, then the argument KR, the value of the argument KR, get some value. For different values of A, you get different values of this KR argument. So let us suppose that value of KR. Now for the argument here at R equal to R0, let it be suppose say eta. Now therefore the energy of a given level because if we get Kr0 is equal to eta at R equal to R0, then K is related with this E, then one can find the value of say E at different levels. Then it is given by E equal to h cross square k square by twice m. From this relation you get E equal to h cross square k square by twice m. Now you could substitute the value of the k square because Kr0 is equal to eta. So k equal to eta by R0. So you get h cross square eta square by twice m R0 square. Now in the unit of, if we calculate this value of E in the unit of h cross square by twice m or twice m R0 square, because R0 is a fixed radius of this. So in the unit of this, if we calculate the value of energy, so that is proportional to eta square. So in the unit of h cross square by twice m R0 square, that means if we consider the h cross square by twice m R0 square is equal to unity, then one gets. So in the unit of h cross square by twice m R0 square, one gets that is, suppose this is the state, it is eta square, this is 1s, then 1p, 1d, 2s, 1a. So if you get here say 9.87 for infinite square well is 20.14. Is 33.21, 39.48 and 48.83, and for some other states also one can calculate. Now also one can calculate 2p, 2p will be equal to 59.68 and so on. Now here the notation which is used, spectroscopic notation, so 1s, 1p, 1b, 2s. In the nuclear physics and atomic physics they are same. The nomenclature is same. 1 is L equal to 0, P equal, L equal to 2, L equal to 1, L equal to 2. Okay, accordingly. But the main difference in atomic and nuclear physics is with the n. In atomic physics, n is the principal quantum number, but here it is the radial quantum number. So here in atomic physics, there is restriction on L over the n value. But here in nuclear physics, there is no restriction. You see here 1s, then 1p. Okay, in atomic physics, you never get say 1p, 1f, 1d. So this is the main difference. In atomic physics, n is the principal quantum number. Here, n is the radial quantum number. Which can take all integer values from 0 to infinity. So this is the difference between the, here there is no restriction on say L, you see here, but in atomic physics there is a restriction on L. There is a consequence of the Coulomb potential, it comes from the, now as we know that L has a 12 plus 1 projection, suppose L equal to your 1, then you get say projection is 1, 0, minus 1. It is 2, then 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2. So for a particular value of L, there is 12 plus 1 projection. There is 12 plus 1 degeneracy is there, number of substates 12 plus 1. And as the each nucleon, it is a spin half particle, so each nucleon has two different spin orientation, plus up or minus up. So for each level you get therefore 2 into 12 plus 1 number of nucleons. So each cell model consists of 12 plus 1 substrates each with a different angular wave function. YLM theta phi. Because m is the projection, you get for a particular value of m, you get different values of m. So different wave function, different projection of l gives you different angular wave function. Now there were 12 plus 1 substrates are there for a particular value of l with this different wave function, and because of two different possible orientations of the spins, a level can accommodate two into 12 plus 1 protons or neutrons. And the closed cells occur for neutron or proton number or unit J. Which is equal to sum over L 2 into 12 plus 1. Where this L is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, all integers. In the cell closure, this will be the total number of nucleons. Now the infinite squirrel potential is actually unrealistic because the potential cannot be like that, the infinite, sharply it is infinite. So the more finite realistic potential is the finite depth squirrel potential. So if we can calculate the energy levels with the finite depth squirrel potential, then one gets the more realistic picture. Now, in general, when a substrate is filled with the neutrons or protons, suppose neutrons and protons are filled independently. Suppose here two neutrons fill this state. Then if we add say another neutron in this nucleus, then the third neutron cannot accommodate here because they are fermions, one is speed plus up, one is speed minus up. So the third neutron must go here. So the binding energy of the last neutron will increase. There is a large jump in the energy level. Similarly for proton also. So for suppose this is an even nucleus, then all the levels will be filled like this, 2 proton, 2 neutron, like this. Now again next nucleus, where another neutron is added, then the neutron will go to here. It cannot be accommodated here, or a proton is added, then it must go here in the higher energy level. So that is a jump. And it is found there are certain levels, that is 2, 8, 20, 28. After that, if we add another neutron or proton, there is a large jump in the energy level. Now, so the energy of the last nucleon, either neutron or proton, has a large energy. Now, in such cases, a large jump occurs after the filling of either 1s, 1t, 2s, 1f, 2p, 1g, etc. And other levels are there. The number of neutrons that can be accumulated up to and including these levels are 2, 8, 20, 34, 40, 58, 92 and 138. Now, according to this model, you see here 2, 8, 20, 34. After this number of neutron or proton, you get there is a large jump. That means cell closure takes place up to this. Now, according to this theoretical model, 2, 8, 20, it can generate these three magic numbers. And these are not actually the magic numbers which is experimentally predicted, because 2, 8, 20, then 28, 50, 82 and 126. So this simple model can produce only these three magic numbers. Others are not. Now the other magic numbers can be produced if we change the form of the potential slightly. We consider a square wave potential, but the nuclear potential is actually not say square wave like simply square wave like. So if we deform the potential, nowadays various kinds of complicated potentials are used. Now if you deform the or change the shape of the potential slightly, then the other magic numbers can be produced. So this is the limitations of the simple square wave potential, that it is able to predict only the three magic numbers, the rest are not. And also here we consider only the central potential, but the nuclear potential is not at all central. There are so many say non-central potentials are there. A spin orbit interaction we have also not considered here, because there is a very strong interaction between the orbital and the spin of the nucleus, of the each nucleon. So if we consider that spin orbit interaction also, then we hope it may also produce the other magic numbers. Now this is for the square wave potential, simple. Now we consider the harmonic oscillator potential and see what is the effect of the harmonic oscillator type of potential, whether it can produce the magic numbers and how far it is able to produce the magic numbers. Now with the harmonic oscillator potential, so if we consider say harmonic oscillator potential, this is also a central potential, and for which the Schrodinger equation can be solved exactly for all partial wave and at all energies. Now for this harmonic oscillator potential, that is VR, if the potential is of this type, it is half m omega square r square. Omega is the classical angular frequency. Now, with this potential, if we want to solve the Schrodinger equation, then the allowed energy levels, if one solves the time independent Schrodinger equation with this potential, then the energy levels comes to be 2n plus L plus 3 by 2 H cross omega. This three-dimensional harmonic oscillator. The degeneracy corresponding to each L value is 12 plus 1. However, there is another degeneracy will come. If 2n plus L is same, then there will also be degeneracy. However, the energy states corresponding to same value of 2n plus L are also degenerate. Because 2n plus L is same, you get the same value of energy. So degeneracy is also there. L degeneracy and 2n plus L degeneracy is also there. So now for state, suppose n equal to 0 and L equal to 0. What will be the energy? N equal to 0, L equal to 0. What we get? Then this energy E, suppose say 0, 0, N equal to 0, L equal to 0. That will be 3 by 2 H cross omega. This is called the 0 point energy. So 0 point energy. Now if you consider say n equal to 1, n equal to 0, or n equal to 0, n equal to 1. Now for this state n equal to 0 and n equal to 1. Then you get say E 0, 1, that will be equal to your 5 by 2 H cross omega. It's a non-degenerate state. Now for n equal to 0, L equal to 2, and n equal to 1 and L equal to 0. level is 2n plus L plus 3 by 2. N equal to 0, L equal to 2, you get 7 by 2. N equal to 1, L equal to 0, also get 7 by 2. So these two states are degenerate. Here you get this energy 7 by 2 H plus omega. So besides the L degeneracy, this 2n plus L degeneracy is also there. Now therefore, there are so many such levels which are degenerate. So in the harmonic oscillator case, the levels come in a group, that is degeneracy is there. Now for harmonic oscillator, harmonic oscillator energy levels, if we calculate, then we get for different values of N and L. So we get energy levels come in a group. So that is, suppose say suppose this is the your lambda 2n plus L value. Here En by H cross omega, the degeneracy. Here it is, let's say n lambda. This value is lambda plus 1 into lambda plus 2, and this is the accumulation number of particles up to this. It is 1/3 L plus 1 into lambda plus 2 lambda plus 3. Suppose n equal to, when this is 0, n equal to 0, n equal to 0, you get 0. Here you get 3 by 2 H cross omega, in the unit of H cross omega, so 3 by 2, this is 1s, 2, particles accumulating up to that, cumulative. Now this is 1, n equal to 0, n equal to 1, you get here 5 by 2, this is 1 p, 6, get 8, 6 plus 2, now this is 2, L equal to 0, L equal to 1, you get 7 by 2, you get here 2p and 1l, oh sorry, 2s and 1d. Here you get 12 and total up to here 12 plus 8, you get 20, and this is 3, you get 9 by 2, 2p and 1f. This is 40. Similarly in this way, when it is 4, you get 11 by 2. The levels are 3s, 2d and 1g. 3s, 2d, 1g. And here you get 30 number of nucleons and accumulating up to this 70. In this way, so here also we get these three, same three, first three magic numbers. both the squirrel and harmonic oscillator are able to produce the first three magic numbers, the rest are not. Because therefore from this it is clear that the infinite squirrel or finite squirrel and the harmonic oscillator, they are not actually represent the actual nuclear potential, because they are unable to reproduce the other magic numbers. And also the nuclear potential which we consider here only the central potential. It is not also this true. The nuclear potential is not only central potential, because we have not included here the spin orbit interaction, because there is a very strong spin orbit interaction between the orbital and the spin angular momentum of each nucleon. So if we compare, because in the case of harmonic oscillator, degeneracy is there, but in the squirrel potential, the degeneracy is not there. The levels do not appear in group. So if we compare these two, side by side, the squirrel and the harmonic oscillator, suppose this is your infinite squirrel, and here's the harmonic oscillator. You plot the here the energy in MeV. The squirrel energy levels. This is your 1s, this is 1p, 1d, this is 2s, it is 1f, then this is your 2p, this is 1d, this is 2d, and so on. Then 1h you get here. Now this is the, and if you plot here the harmonic oscillator, well, then the 1s, this is your 1s. So here you get 2, this is 8, then you get 18, here 20, 34, 40, 58, 68, then here you 70. Now this is 1s, here you get 2. Then you get say 1p. Then the energy level comes in group 20, 1d and 2s. Here you get 1d and 2s. Degeneracy is there. 12 plus L degeneracy. Here you have to get here 20 number of particles. Then you get 1f and 2p, which is equal to 40. One F, 2p. And then up to 70 here. Here it is your 3s, 2d and 1g. So in the harmonic oscillator, the levels appear in group 1d and 2s has the same energy, 1f, 2p same energy. So we see here only these three magic numbers can be produced by the two potential models. One is harmonic oscillator and the squirrel potential. So from this it is clear that the nuclear potentials are not at all say simply like this, which are maybe in between these two, because in the case of harmonic oscillator the well is sharp 1 and harmonic oscillator it diminishes gradually. So the nuclear potential may be in between these two. Or another possibility is that we have not considered here the spin orbit interaction. Now if we include, we shall see, if we include the spin orbit interaction, then how far they are able to produce the other magic numbers.